Senator Chuck Schumer has just called on President Trump to declassify the UFO files. Yes, this is a big deal. Now, why did he do that? Well, that's because today, President Trump declassified the files surrounding the JFK assassination and much more, right? So here's a clip of Donald Trump officially declassifying the JFK files, and again, much more.
Lastly, sir, we have an executive order ordering the declassification of files relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
That's a big one. A lot of people are waiting for this for years, for decades. And everything will be revealed. Okay? Give that to RFK Jr.
Yes, sir.
Now, after the White House official Twitter account tweeted out this video, Chuck Schumer quote tweeted it right here, you can see, and put, "Now do UFOs," right? And now, why would Chuck Schumer say this? Well, if you're familiar with Chuck Schumer and following the UFO topic, you know actually how ingrained the two are. You see, it's purported that Chuck Schumer took over the reins for Harry Reid being the Senate Majority Leader, and himself with Senator Rounds have put forth UAP legislation, right? And I've got a clip of that, right? I've got a clip here of Chuck Schumer, on the Senate floor talking about UAP, which is just a new word for UFOs. Take a look.
So I see my friend Senator Rounds is on the floor and ask him to engage in a colloquy on an important set of provisions in the NDAA that deals with transparency, trust, and government oversight. The Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena Disclosure Act that he and I co-sponsored, and portions of which we will pass in the NDAA. I say to my friend that unidentified unanimous phenomena are of immense interest and curiosity to the American people. But with that curiosity comes the risk for confusion, disinformation, and mistrust, especially if the government isn't prepared to be transparent. The United States government has gathered a great deal of information about UAPs over many decades, but has refused to share it with the American people. That is wrong, and additionally, it breeds mistrust. We've also been notified by multiple credible sources that information on UAPs has also been withheld from Congress, which, if true, is a violation of the laws requiring full notification to the legislative branch, especially as it relates to the 4 congressional leaders, the defense committees, and the intelligence committee. So the bill I worked on with Senator Rounds offered a common-sense solution. Let's increase transparency on UAPs by using a model that works, by following what the federal government did 30 years ago with the JFK Assassination Records Collection Act. They established a presidentially appointed board to review and release these records, and it was a huge success. We should do the same here with UAPs.
And there you have it, right? Chuck Schumer is definitely behind releasing the files of UAP. Now, he's not stating what's going to be in these files, right? And we would have to accept whatever truth may lie in there. And he relates it back to the JFK files, right? Which, boom, now they're out, right? Everything. And basically people are saying, okay, if he's releasing the files about JFK, Martin Luther King, right, as well, and others, that, he could do the same for UFOs, because everyone knows that in the UFO community, at least, that people have been very hopeful that Donald Trump will release, the UFO files, if you will, or at bare minimum, do something, right? To just do something about this, right? Clearly like he's doing here, right? Now, maybe the problem is there is no set UFO files, or not all in one place. So to just release it is, a little different. I don't know, right? That's sort of the problem. And again, it doesn't necessarily mean by releasing the UFO files, oh, okay, this is all real, right? No, it just means that we would have information that the government is held that potentially we should have access to as, the public should be aware, just like these files that are being about to be released as well, right? So could this happen? Yeah, it is a strong possibility, to be honest with you. And Chuck Schumer putting that out, if he's putting it out in a tweet, that means behind the scenes he's going to do some work to see if he can make that happen, right? And it's definitely a bipartisan effort, right, to support that, which is always a good thing. That's usually a better chance of something getting done, right, to be honest. So, look, Trump has always said, it's the question he gets asked the most is about UFOs, right? Area 51, UFOs, right? He's been briefed inside the Oval Office from pilots. He's talked about that many times. Lou Elizondo and others have gone on Donald Trump Jr.'s podcast and talked about it. They've been in his ear about it. A lot of people have. Apparently, all kinds of people have claimed to have briefed people around Trump and that sort of thing, right? Here's a clip of Eric Davis in a recent Soul Foundation event, right? These videos are being released. Here's Eric Davis talking about how presidents are briefed on the UFO topic.
Let's get down to brass tacks here, guys. We're hearing about presidential authority here. I'm going to ask you, Eric. I think you might have some insight into that. Do presidents know? Have presidents known?
There have been presidents that have been briefed, and there's presidents that are not trustworthy enough to be briefed, and that's how the industry sees it, and that's how the cognizant government authorities see it. So they make a choice. The standard rule is that a president is not briefed on every single special access program, an acknowledged special access program, or waived unacknowledged special access program. There's so many, there's hundreds of them, that you probably would take the first 2 years of a president's administration for him to be briefed every hour of every working day. And so what they do is they only brief the president when the president has a need to know, and they have the need to tell him they need his executive decision on something concerning such programs. And then that's when they will go to him and brief him and say, well, here's the program, Mr. President. Here's what it's doing, here's what's going on, and we need your executive decision on how to carry through on this particular situation or circumstance that arises. So.
Okay, and do you know of a president who was briefed?
Who was?
Do you have any insight?
Yeah, I know that Nixon and Reagan, and I believe that Kennedy was briefed, and I definitely know that Eisenhower was briefed. In modern times, Bill Clinton, no. I don't know. I think Bush Jr. Was briefed to some extent.
But let me stop you there. You just said Bill Clinton. You think he wasn't briefed on this?
Who?
Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't briefed. He actually believed that his cabinet secretaries lied to him. That was not said to me. That was said to somebody else.
And may I ask you how you know that?
Say again?
May I ask you how you know that?
That's a private conversation between the person he told that to and myself, who was a former boss of mine.
Gotcha. Okay.
So Carter was definitely briefed. I have that directly from his last chief of staff, who I interviewed with another colleague of mine from NIDS.
So you just said you interviewed someone from the Carter administration.
Well, that was that one, yeah.
Who said that Jimmy Carter received a briefing on UAP.
And we have a document from Carter's library to that effect, that briefing took place and who attended it. I do know that Jay Stratton and his colleagues at the UAPTF did brief Trump, but they were briefing him on the UAP problem, not about the crash retrieval topic.
All right, so there you go. I don't know, right? It sounds like every president at some point there's some sort of interaction or not, or what, I don't know, right? That's from Eric Davis stating that, and that part about Jay Stratton briefing President Trump, not about the retrieval, but just about the phenomena. Okay, sure, right? I don't know. And again, Jay Stratton just came out, right, stating that he's a firsthand witness to seeing non-human craft and beings, right? I've covered that in a few videos on the channel. Check those out in this new Age of Disclosure trailer, right, that came out. So I don't know what to make, right? It is a strong possibility that Trump does release some sort of files or does something, but it may not give us the answers we want, but I think he will make some movement in this field. So we'll just have to wait and see, right? But it's definitely a good sign that Chuck Schumer and others are behind pushing Trump to do something. And if he did declassify all these other files, you know, which no one else had ever done, maybe he'll do something about the UFO files. So let me know what you think in the comments, guys. We'll see you on the next video. Remember, every day's a gift, y'all. Peace.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep.